Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pasture Farm. We just finished the cattle drive. I think we've got the last of them. Jan and I were on the four-wheeler. Isaac and Joel were bringing up the rear. And got 350 some head in here, South Poles. And they're on stockpiled fescue. And we've got them in here loose enough. There's about 10 acres on this pasture, and there's only going to be on it for about 9 hours, 9 to 10 hours. And there's a ton of feed in here, and they're on one of our rock skirts tonight over here at the pond. And so we don't have a tank to move. Don't have to worry about the valve or a hose freezing. It's just the cows. I just busted it a while ago with the axe, and they'll keep it open, just drinking from it. Got this many head drinking. There'll be a cow drinking out of that pad probably every minute or so. But tell you what, they look really good. Good hair coats on them. Extremely good condition for December 6th, and it's cold out here. It was in the single digits this morning. You took your glove off very long. My hands right now are paying the price. But to give you an idea, folks, this field was solid cedars when I bought it. I bought this farm. This is the Judy farm I bought from my Uncle Dan, Uncle David, Aunt Martha, and Aunt Carol. And it was in the family for many years, and just nothing was done with it. And so it all grew up into cedars. And, you know, it was something that I thought it'll never grow grass. But with good management, we turned it into a grass haven. And we do have pressurized water here if we need it. This hydrant hasn't been used. As you can tell, look at that. That's the spider web. Oh, we got the deal's shut down. There we go. Now I can turn it on. There's another spider web coming out. So if something would happen to the pond, we couldn't use it, whatever, we do have water. This is, used to call this, Cedar Ridge, and I cut all the cedars off of it. I called it Cedarless Ridge. And then there used to be, I'll bet you there was 1,000 cedar stumps in here. They're all gone. And some of them are a foot in diameter. It took, those big ones, it probably took 10 or 12 years for them to rot out, but they finally did. And now there's not a single stump left in this field anywhere. It's all fescue, orchard grass, clover, bluegrass. It's got some Indian grass, which is a warm season. It's got a little bit of big blue stem in it. We didn't plant any of the native grass. It all just came. And we're pretty happy about that. There's still cattle coming in. This was about a 2-mile cattle drive from where we started to where we ended. So they were strung out up to their pretty good J. I tell you folks, something that really saves you are these little guys right here. I use these a lot. This particular brand is called Hot Hands. You just open the package, and once they're exposed to air, it activates them. That thing right now, I mean, I had it in my pocket. My pocket is like 100 degrees. But on a cold morning, you stick one of them down in your boot. If you had trouble with your feet getting cold, I've got one in each boot on my Hiseias here. And my toes are nice and cozy. With one sock. I don't have 2 socks on, just one. And I put one in my mitten. Thank you, George Heller. He sent these to me. They are awesome. You put a hot pocket down in that, and man, I tell you what, your hands just do not get cold. I don't know where he gets them at. He gets them in Minnesota somewhere. I'm gonna have to hit him up. I gotta have a backup pair. I've only got one pair. Hint, hint, George. Send me a pair, buddy. I'll reimburse him. I'll reimburse you for them. You know, when you get your feet cold and your hands cold, it's miserable to do this kind of work. You know, to be out here, you need to stay warm. And cold feet, chilled body. That's usually when you catch a cold or get, you know, sick. And I really believe spending as much time out here outside every day is some of the best health benefits to humans and animals alike. And I posted that video earlier this week, and it kind of went crazy. I think they got, last time I checked, it was 13 or 14,000 views. Why animals are healthier without a barn. It really ignited a firestorm of comments, and that's good. You know, it put some people outside their comfort zone. They didn't really like it, but you know, that's okay. We can all agree to disagree. That's what life is about. If we were all the same, it would be very, very, very boring. But all I'm saying is, in lots of the time of the year, we feel like when it gets a little wet or a little cold, we got to run animals in a barn. And I tell people, we got lots of this. That's a cedar grove in there. And we came by a bunch of those on the way down doing the pasture move today, the cattle drive. Folks, if you got something like that, you do not need a barn. I don't care how cold it gets. Those cattle, they'll pack in there and they're, see, they got a fermentation tank in that gut. And as long as cows are fed and they have water, they can generate heat. And you have a herd of them like this, they all get in a tight ball. And I mean, I've walked in through them and it's almost on a 20 below zero day. You can go into that cedar grove if they're all packed in there, and it's warm. I mean, it's warm. It's not just cool, it's warm. It's because of all these bodies, these 800 to 1,000 pound cows, and 400 to 500, 600 pound calves, they're generating a lot of heat. So, been doing it for tens of thousands of years, and I'll go back again. And, we just don't have shelter on every single farm, a homemade shelter, but we got a lot of this. So it's up to you as being managers. If you anticipate 30, 40 below wind chill, don't park your animals up on top of that hill up there where they can't escape the wind. You got to use some common sense, and you'll learn that as you go. Watch the weather, and you've got to be willing to change right in the middle of what you're doing, and maybe move them to an area where you do have some shelter. Even if you have to feed a hay bale down on the edge of the woods there, or whatever, but be willing to change your planned, whatever you've got set up. And I know it's tough. Like, Greg, I'm going north to south, and I can't go back north, or it's going to mess up my plan. Well, if it's going to get down to 20 below zero, and you don't have any trees or a draw, something they can get down into, you need to make that plan and get them back to some shelter. I'm going to get off of that soapbox now. So, folks, these cattle are so healthy. We had a farm tour this morning. 2 young fellows from St. Louis that I think are going to knock it out of the park. They've both got farms. They've got access to some leased land, and they came into this herd and were looking at the cattle and they're like, oh my gosh, we've never seen such clean, slick-hided cattle. This is like you took and washed them all. I'm like, well, none of them have any manure or muck all over the sides of their body where they've laid in a barn and get all that stuff frozen on them, And so if you want healthy animals, keep them in sunlight and keep them moving. I'll just leave it right there. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and get this lane pulled up, and we'll see you all next time. And everyone have a great day.